Something feels different now. I'm just trying to figure out where to go, but I don't know, 'cause I'm fading from a broken heart. Still I try to fight, I try to stay strong. Although it ain't easy, no, I gotta hold on. It's bigger than me, but I needed time to grieve. That just honesty, realizing I needed some time to break free, yeah, from others' opinions about my decisions. The way I was feeling, knew I needed something different. And they say that the more you know, over time, that you surely grow and just fly above it all. You will fly above it all, all the way up, all the way up, all the way up, all the way up. Learn to fly above it all. You can fly above it all. I'm thinking straight, things are clear now. New direction, new path found. It won't be easy, please believe it. I'm not alone, love has lifted me where I belong. From this view I can see brand new possibilities. Forget the past, it can't hold me. No looking back, no looking back. Realizing I needed some time to break free, yeah, from others' opinions about my decisions. The way I've been feeling, knew I needed something different. And they say that the more you know, over time, that you surely grow and just fly above it all. You will fly above it all, all the way up, all the way up, all the way up.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? The show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
What's up? What's up? What's up, y'all? Let's see what we got going on. Let's see everybody in the building. Listen, we are live. We see folks still coming in. Make sure y'all like, share, and put your comments and questions down in the chat so we can make sure we get to them. This live right now is powered by the Black Family Therapy Podcast, which I'm excited to sort of announce that we are back in 2026. All new episodes for you all to watch. You're gonna be able to see it. Yeah, I'm excited because I get to go home and shoot this in Atlanta, shoot all 10 episodes there. So if you haven't listened already to the podcast, the first season, which is on exclusively on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, you know, make sure y'all go and stream that right now. Listen, we just gonna get right into it. We ain't gonna waste no time. I know we late coming on, but listen, we had some technical difficulties, but we in this thing. I'm so glad to be in this thing with my friend. Listen, tonight I'm talking to someone that I have known pretty much all my life. And I always jokingly say, I don't know a life without you, which is absolutely true. And literally, we grew up together. So many of my first in this space of entertainment has been with her. My first endeavor into recording music, I recorded a song with her. We recorded a song together, rather. And when I first started Keyro Inc. or Entertainment, she was the first client that I ever worked with. So our foundational connection comes from basically the church, that we grew up in. Our families, both of our families, was deeply embedded into this church, and her father was the pastor. And to us, I guess you could say to us, he was a local celebrity, and he, that's how we treated him as such and his family. And so tonight I want to develop a new perspective on her life, which is Phoenicia Sibert, the daughter of the people that we were just talking about. So I want to present to some, introduce to others. Some people know her as Phoenicia. Some people know her as Fee. Some people know her as Pastor Fee. But I simply know her as Fee. That's my friend. So let's get into it. I want y'all to help me welcome Pastor Phoenicia Sibert to this live and broadcast. Fee, what's up, man? How you doing? I can't hear you. Are you muted? Yeah, it sounds like you muted.
Can you hear me now?
I can now. I
Okay,
can
all
hear
right.
you.
I'm sorry, bro. What's up? What's up? How you doing?
Listen, we was just having a good time and really getting into some things in the back, but I definitely want to talk to you about some things. So the first thing I want to say is that when's your birthday?
May 9th.
So you are a Taurus.
I
Oh
am.
my God, Lord!
Yes.
Listen, so the personality is
Shout
if
out
you
to the
don't know,
Tauruses.
if you don't know, like Tauruses are very like grounded people. They're kind of practical. They're loyal. They're
Mhm,
dependable. They're sensual as well.
mhm.
But also some of their weaknesses, in my opinion, or what's been said, is that they could be very stubborn. They could be very possessive and uncompromising. Okay, okay, okay. So do you think that's true about Tauruses?
We are very stubborn. We
Okay.
are very loyal, but we're only loyal to an extent of somebody who can handle us. That's why we're bulls. You got to be able to tame it. So
Okay.
at the end of the day, you got to be understand who we are and how we operate. But we are very loyal to the 110% degree. It takes a lot for us to stray away from the fact of, you know what I'm saying, if we're not loyal to you. But
Yeah.
definitely bullheaded, very strong
Okay.
minded. We
Okay.
wield it, yeah.
Okay. Listen, your father is also a Taurus, right?
He is May
And you got
6th.
yeah, you guys are like how many what, 3 days apart?
That's it.
Oh, look, okay, so how was like you because you grew up in a two-parent household. So how was that in the house, being raised by another Taurus?
Uh, the only difference with my father is though, like he's more laid back, chill. Like it takes a minute for him to kind of like turn up a little bit. For me as a female, it's like I can go from 0 to 100. For him, it's gonna take a minute, and then he's gonna overpower it. But we never bumped heads. It was more like the loving and nurturing type
Okay.
atmosphere. My mama, she born in August. She just had a birthday. Shout out to my mom, you know what I'm saying? 74 years old. But
Birthday.
yeah, it was kind of a different vibe. But my dad was never that bullheaded, only in certain things that he was passionate about. And that was church all day.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Okay. Yes, we're gonna get there. We're gonna get so you kind of grew up in a two-parent household, pretty much,
Hmm.
right? What was well before we get into that, your family structure, like what was your village like? I know you had brothers and sisters, you had grandparents. What was your village, kind of like?
Definitely my village. In the church was definitely my outlet. So like school and all that stuff, people's hanging out, people at school and doing all this other stuff.
Mhm.
Mine was church. Like I didn't know the outside world. It
Yeah.
was church all day, every day. So when you tell me, "Hey, yeah, we going to this football game," I'm like, "Yeah, I got choir rehearsal."
Mhm.
Yeah, I gotta make sure that I know this music so Sister Perkins don't get on me. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So
Okay. That was a very real thing. Okay.
fact. So
That was
you
a
you
very
know
real
you
thing.
was in it. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So
Yeah.
that was my growing up.
Yeah. And was your grandparents at all involved in your circle or your life?
Uh, Christmases, Thanksgiving. Right now, still to this day, my granny makes these cookies for Christmas that I love oh so dearly that I'm learning to do. So yeah, they were definitely a pillar of my life to make sure that I am doing what I'm supposed to do and to be where I'm supposed to be. So definitely.
For sure. For sure. Now your parents actually divorced
Mhm.
when you were very young. How old were you when
I think
that
I was 12 years old.
you was 12? Okay.
12.
Wow, um such a pivotal age. And when your parents divorced, let's kind of paint the picture. You
Mhm.
know, your father was a pastor of a thriving church at that time.
Correct.
And there was it was very it was very financially rewarding in a lot of aspects, which afforded a different kind of lifestyle than most of the people that were attending the church. um, what kind of effect did that have on you as a young girl
Mhm.
growing up when your parents divorced?
On the real, honestly, at that time and at that moment, I kind of just wanted to be where I felt like I was as a child to get away with some stuff. I never looked at the outcome of pretty much knowing what was the best for me. So really, how I handled it and how I dealt with it was more of that's their issue, and I'm gonna go do this because this is numbing my pain. This is numbing my hurt. So I led to different things of life. Alcohol, going out, doing these different things because that was what numbed me. But yet, still in the process, showing up for church,
Yeah,
showing up with the face.
yeah,
Because in the inside, I was dying because I didn't know how to process the fact of my parents separating. I didn't know how to process the fact of this is supposed to be forever. That was that fairy tale for me. But at the end of the day, it was a lot of people that showed up for me to show me that that wasn't the way how to go. But it was very hard. It was hard because at the end of the day, my parents were very valuable in my life.
yeah, yeah, both. So you end up being raised primarily or living primarily with your father. Do
Mm,
you think that the success of the church and the financial stability that it brought forth, do you
mm,
think that was that played a part in your custody of being with the father? Because typically when
mm,
these kind of things happen, you see children mostly go with their mothers, right?
correct.
And their mothers, kind of raise them, and the fathers have visitation or whatever the case may be.
Mm.
But in your case, you were actually raised primarily in the home of your father. So do you think that the church success played any role in that, you being raised by him?
I really can't really say that was the financial stability of the church. I do know that, like you said, my father was a great pillar of the community. He was
Mhm.
that guy. So at the end of the day, he made sure that he held it down. The structures of what he's done and what he's pursued has even to this day people have followed the blueprint. So I
Mhm.
think that at the end of the day, what it was behind the scenes, maybe as a child, but as far as going forward of what I saw, it was just really him just holding it down and doing what he needed to do as the pastor and showing up for who he was and believing what he was. Besides the divorce or decide whether him and my mom was not together, he made a strong outlet from every angle. Like I said, for me being a kid, learning what he did before I got there until when I saw it, it was a great monument for where he was and what was taking place. So I can honestly say that he put his foot in it before that even happened. So
Yeah.
that's where I can go with that.
Okay. 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 I understand that. And with your mother, you have, of course, I know you. So you got two brothers. Your mother
Correct.
has two. You have two older brothers,
Mhm.
and then with your father, you have two older sisters.
Correct.
What is your relationship like with your brothers? Your older.
My brothers, they are actually we have become more closer these last couple of years. Definitely growing up in the church, like before I even got there, they were definitely in the church with the suits, the ties, knowing what it was. both of my brothers, I can honestly say that you know them.
Mhm.
It was different for them than me. I can honestly say
Sure.
I followed the leadership of yeah, this is what God called me to do, and this is what I'm going to do. They were
Mhm.
more like, yeah, I'm kind of tired of church, you
Okay.
know. At the end of the day, but still have a relationship with God, and I just spent time with my middle brother who
Okay.
I love also dearly. And man, he has a relationship with God like no other. He prays, we prayed together. He's poured into me. But definitely, hands down, it's been an interesting road. Like I said, before all of that happened, it was kind of maybe not the same as now. But since we've grown and evolved, we became closer. So I'm grateful for that.
That's good. That's good. And you come from a family of like, when I say like full of preachers and pastors, like
Yeah.
that is what it seems like that is what you guys breed over
Mhm.
there, just preachers and pastors. And for someone who knows your background, like I'm talking about full, right? Like your
Right.
mom, your dad, your first cousin, your uncles.
Right.
Your sister is also a pastor, just like
Yes,
you.
she is.
And I don't see a lot of intertwining or interactions
Hmm.
with each other,
Hmm.
right? And it often leads me to wonder, what is your relationship like with your sisters? Because these are your dad's children
Hmm.
prior to you. So, what is your relationship like with them?
Like you said, my oldest sister is definitely a phenomenal pastor. I watch her often, as well as vice versa. She watches me, and my middle sister, who's Allison. She definitely comes in. We have had great moments of the fact of singing together in my father's church, but we've never actually intertwined like that. Our relationship has definitely not been as close as I would expect it to be or hoped it to be. But at the end of the day, they have showed up for me behind the scenes that nobody's known about. They have been there for me when nobody else knew, and they were calling like, "Hey, sis, I just want to check on you. I want to make sure you're good." I'm very close to their children, which are dear and dear to my heart. We talk often, but definitely, growing up, like I said, behind the scenes, my oldest sister, when she had her babies, like we were in the house together, so we got to I got to raise her kids, I got to hold her
Yeah.
babies. But Allison was different. We just got really close and intertwining with each other later down being grown. But definitely, I know if I have to have somebody come up to the forefront, they
Uh-huh.
gonna show up. It's
Yeah. Yeah.
we don't gotta have a call right now, but if I gotta call them, they
Uh-huh.
gonna show up.
Yeah. Okay.
Hands down.
Okay. Okay. I like that. I like relationships like that. That if listen, we may not be the closest, we may not talk every day, but if I need you, I know for a fact you gonna show up. You know what I'm saying? I know for a fact you got my back. I do want to go back to something that we talked about a little bit earlier, which
Sure.
was something that you and I have in common, which is the church. Um, like I said, your family was looked at as like celebrities.
Mhm,
People literally looked up to you guys.
mhm.
And I say we because we all were in it. We had a thriving community of people that was built. You know what
Absolutely.
I'm saying? It was thriving, and it was monumental, as you say, and it was financially rewarding. It was lucrative.
Mhm,
um for you growing up, one of the things that I've always noticed,
mhm.
right, is that people wanted to be, as any celebrity, people want to be close to your dad.
Absolutely.
He was the pastor. People wanted to be close, and a lot of people built relationships with you in hopes of being seen, heard, or recognized by your father. I just want to know, what was your perspective? How did you see all of that? Like, as a young girl growing up in this was
Mhm.
your life.
Yeah.
How did you perceive all of that?
Um, Being that young,
Mhm,
I thought really honestly that they were there to really be there for us.
mhm,
Now that I look back at it and now that I've seen it and lived through it, I understood that it was just basically a platform for something that they can drain from us. A lot of times you've got to understand that a lot of people that say that they with you are not necessarily with you until it runs out for their benefit.
Mhm.
So me being young and me not really understanding the full totality of everything that was going on, but me just trying to be who I am, growing up and trying to be who I was, um, people showed their hand. They
Mhm.
showed the Ace of Spades, they showed the
Yeah.
Joker. So at the
Yeah.
end of the day, when that showed up for me and I'm looking around like you were the pillar of my life, you were the one that put something into me, you were the one that was speaking to me, and now I have nowhere for you to be found. It was very hard for me because I looked up to these people. I
Mhm.
trusted these people. I've given intimate secrets with these people, and I expected them to show up and show out for me, no matter if the situation didn't benefit them. So sometimes you just got to be careful of people that that want the limelight, that just want to be seen and
Mm.
in that moment. So it was hard
Yeah.
for me because I had a lot of heartbreak from that. It's a lot of things that I did with trauma when I was a kid that I carried
Mm.
to my adulthood because of things that happened in my childhood,
Yeah.
that I can honestly say that no matter, like you said, Taurus earlier, I'm a lover, I'm a loyal, but
Yes.
I had to learn in this process that everybody is not the same as I am. And everybody, sometimes people benefit certain stuff that, you just have to, people have seasons. So yeah, it was hard for me.
Okay.
It's hard.
That's good. When you look back,
Yeah.
and the people, because you've had a lot of people
Mhm.
to come in and out of your sphere, your stratosphere, your circle, your life.
Absolutely.
What is the biggest lesson that you've learned about yourself in that?
Um, the biggest lesson I learned about me
Mm.
is that I didn't discern enough.
Mhm.
I talk about, people and the fact of them being a partaker of my life, but still at the same time, I was needing something from them too.
Yeah.
But in the capacity of me being so young, I didn't know
Mm.
how to process it and deal with it. But now that I'm older,
Mhm.
I'm learning that, at the end of the day, and I hate to say it, people say they call it the effort method,
Yeah.
um, but I hate to say it, but I'm learning that, in that season of my life, I should have had the back away method, as
Mhm.
they say, quote, quote, quote.
Quote,
On
okay, okay,
quote, quote, quote,
okay.
on that, because my mama always tell me, you gotta watch where you pour something into. You gotta watch
Mm.
people that you outlet to, because everybody is not there for you. And for me, every person that said they were my friend, every person that was family, every person I said, oh yeah, I ride for, they didn't ride for me.
Mm.
And I'm learning that. So I just, it was hard. Like you've been through a couple of my life steps.
Yeah,
It was hard
yeah,
to see people that you've been with for years, and
yeah,
you look around and like, dang, where are you?
yeah. And that brings me to a question based on your childhood, and
Mhm,
because you spoke about that, and you spoke about how things affect you as an adult, and they
yeah,
do. They really, really do.
mhm,
From your childhood, your you've had friends
mhm,
for like you've had friends like me, childhood friends that you've
absolutely.
been with for a very long time.
Mhm.
How have you processed friendships, and how do you process them when they come to an end based on the things
Um,
you've been through?
That's good. That's real good. When you end a friendship of something of somebody for so long, it's like a death. It's like it's hurtful. It's painful. It is very sad. You never wish that that would happen because you guys have shared so many intimate moments, so many intimate secrets, and it hurts.
Yeah.
But everybody, what I can learn is everybody is not at the same friendship as you. Sometimes you can be people's friends and sometimes they're not yours. They're
Mm,
just there for a moment. They're just there for a season. So you've got to know and you've got to understand that your loyalty and your friendship of who you are stands over anything else. I've learned that. I've learned that people can't love like I love. People can't do like I do. So if I'm going to do it, I'm going to take everything with it. It doesn't mean that it's not going to come with hurt or pain, but I'm going to give it all I got. If I'm saying me and you rocking since A1 day one, that's what I mean. I'm showing up regardless if you all the way in Cali.
Yeah.
I'm already in Atlanta. If you calling me saying I need you in this plane, I'm showing up. It don't matter if we fought, fuss, or fight. I'm coming to your rescue because that's the loyalty that I have. That's the passion that I have. And regardless, everybody makes mistakes. Regardless, everybody has flaws and errors. But when you have a friendship, that's a bind.
Yes.
That's something that cannot be broken.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So friendship is not the same anymore. Loyalty is not the same anymore. So you've just got to make sure that, you know, the people that you choose in your circle, that they're on the same level and the same understanding as you, because sometimes it just don't work like that. But people are there for a season.
Sure. And I can imagine, I would agree with you in saying that when you've been friends with somebody for a very long time and you're not friends with them anymore, it is like a death. You go through a whole grieving process because you've been friends with this person, and 9 times out of 10, this person knows you inside and out.
Absolutely.
So it's very difficult, you know, to move forward in your life and to imagine your life without this person that's always been there. You know what I'm saying? So I get that. I do want to jump back into the church situation. There has been a lot of conversation and a lot of perspective about just everything that occurred or has occurred with the church.
Yeah.
What is your perspective over all of, you know, the things that have been said? How do you see that?
You mean just church in the totality?
Yeah, just church, not the black church. I'm talking about our church, Zion.
Zion. Okay.
That we grew up in, right?
Mm-hmm.
The church
Devastating to me.
Okay.
That to have a phone call to say that at this moment there is no longer a Zion Full Gospel World Ministries. When I got the phone call, it was hurtful. Literally, tears rolled down my eyes. It was something that I can honestly say that broke me, because this is something that built me out of 41 years of my life.
Yes.
This is something that I crawled in these pews. I crawled at this altar. I had youth on fire moments in this choir stand that we tore up the balconies, and we did, it was so devastating to me to actually see that the fact of the matter is that there was no longer a Zion Full Gospel World Ministry. And even the people that were in and out of this ministry that I've seen out of 41 years of my life, to honestly say, from the mothers all the way from the youngest to the oldest, that the hurt, I can imagine that everybody felt. When this took place, I never commented on it. I never said anything about it, because at the end of the day, I had to process it.
Yeah.
Because walking up to that church to see everything thrown out, walking up to the church to see that the doors were locked, to walk up to this church to say, this is my life legacy.
Yeah.
Even though my father was the pastor, this was a life legacy that I've learned the good, the bad, the ugly. It was so devastating. It turns me, even right now, I've literally, when I pass by the access road to Zion Full Gospel, I cry. Literally. Wow. I've done it a couple of times because it was so much history.
Yeah.
Good, bad, or ugly. It was a life lesson for me and for everybody to process that no matter what, this was the community.
Yeah.
We walked together in drug marches. I walk behind those streets. Those people know me even though I go to this day. If I walk in there, they be like, "Oh no, that's Fee. That's
Right.
Bishop's daughter." They're gonna make sure I'm good, and I haven't been there in forever. But that was that's what you were talking about: friendship,
Yeah.
relationship. If I walk into that avenue, they're like, "No, y'all ain't messing with her.
Right.
Y'all not hurting her." No,
Right.
regardless if I ain't never seen her again, they've always showed up. So, bruh, it was a lot to process that so many things was mishandled. So
Yeah.
many things was not done right. And it should have been that my father gone on to glory, that church should have made sure that, or we all should have made sure that that was Zion Full Gospel World Ministry under that umbrella. And that's the part that hurt me.
Yeah. Who do you hold accountable?
Well, and the fact of the matter, well, a lot of stuff that's going on, I don't know the behind the scenes.
Sure.
So the things that's going on behind the scenes, whether it's legal stuff or whether
Mhm.
they're saying my father is doing this stuff or everything that's going on, I try to mind my own business. But from what I'm, hearing of the legal stuff of what was going on, I can't honestly speak about that because
Okay.
I don't really honestly know. So I don't want to give you false information of things of that nature, but I do know some of the stuff that was portrayed and some of the stuff that was going forward or what you talked about early. They were saying that there was misappropriation.
Okay. Your dad did a live when when all of this occurred.
Yeah.
Did you get an opportunity to watch that live?
I watched bits and pieces of it. Is
Okay.
that when he was in his kind of like a background in his home or something like that?
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah.
And how did you feel about whatever you heard on that live? How did you take that?
I looked at it as definitely my father is definitely passionate about the church.
Okay.
He's definitely passionate about, I guess, like I said, 41 years he's been at Zion. 41 years because I was born
Mhm.
there with my mother
Sure.
being the first lady at that time.
Mhm.
So when he did go into it and did have a conversation about it, I was very broken about it and
Mhm.
his caliber because I can't understand how he feels because there's a lot of things that I don't know when I was younger that
Sure.
he went through. But
Right.
I did see the backlash and I did see the people that were
Yes.
posting and I
Mhm.
did see the things that were put before that. Like I
Mhm.
said, but those people I didn't know those things that were taking place. But I just felt like kind of at the end of the day, sometimes social media is not the platform to have certain things brought to
Sure.
it. It should have been a face-to-face conversation, even if that was the case. But people have their own right; they have their own opinion to do what they want to do.
Mhm.
But I just kind of really wanted to ask those people, like you said before, the people that I looked up to, the people that I saw, the people that poured stuff into me. I
Mhm.
don't think that they really understood, but they had their own personal opinions. But I really don't. I really don't think they understood how it affect the people that did not know
Yeah.
the good times. Sometimes
Sure.
I know people have to say what they need to say and do what they
Mhm.
need to do, and I accept that. I
Sure.
understand that.
Yeah.
But you know, but where's the outcome in it that is still not here?
Yeah. And do you to those people that did have a lot to say and voice
Yeah,
their opinions on social media, what is there anything because here's the thing,
yeah,
when you talk about a church
mhm,
like this, Zion, that your father pastored for over 40 plus years,
mhm,
and they face an eviction and their stuff is actually thrown on the street,
mhm,
that affects a lot of people. Like you said, there's
yeah,
a lot of history there, even before you and I was born,
right,
even before you and I, your dad even got there.
mhm,
There was a lot of history, blood, sweat, and tears, not only put into the church, but into that building.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And people had a vested interest, whether it was there. And I learned this throughout this,
At
throughout
this
all of this
moment, yeah,
happening. Yeah. I didn't know. I mean, I knew what it meant to my family,
yeah,
but I did not know the depth of what it meant to so many families and
mhm,
people. Is there anything that you can offer those people? Because here's the thing, I do want to say this. I think that a lot of people look at you now and
yeah,
see a grown woman
mhm,
and they associate the grown woman, which is crazy.
mhm,
They associate the grown woman with the things that have been occurring.
I
You know
got
what I'm saying? And it's like I would never forget this. There was a conversation in my own family,
you. Yeah.
and I remember saying in that conversation, there were people in my family that was holding you responsible for or having a hand, not
In that.
necessarily responsible, but having a hand in this, right?
I got
And I have to explain it to them like this. First of all, you have to realize that when this was occurring, the
you.
lead up to this was a child,
Hmm.
someone who was under the age of 18, mostly of all of these things occurring, right?
Right.
So therefore, if you say to your mom, hey mom, I need such and such, or hey dad, I need such and such, and
Mhm.
your dad directs you to go and do something, or
Right.
your mom directs you to go and do it, then you go do that, right?
Correct. Hmm.
So, but I think there were people holding you responsible for the things that you were directed to go and do.
Okay.
Is there anything that you can offer or say to those who feel
Hmm.
deeply impacted um, by the things that have occurred, such as the eviction?
The first thing I would honestly say to them is honestly, I'm sorry. At the end of the day, nobody knows, um, especially me. Like you said, I was a child in a lot of the instances and a lot of the things that was going on. I honestly would say I do not know the platform for a lot of the people that have stood in a space that I could never say that I've stood in. I knew that I have grown up in it. But I can honestly say that their grief and their feelings are valid. I can understand that their platform of the fact of I saw rocks out there that people had sewed into that I wasn't even born yet. These things that were planted and these things that was given to the ministry or to the church at that time. Zion Full Baptist Church, I think it was at that time.
Zion Missionary
Yeah,
Baptist.
Zion Missionary
Yeah,
Baptist Church. So at the end of the day, I want to definitely let you know that your heart and how you feel is very valid. What your family represented in that church is very grateful. You made the church be what it is today, regardless whether it was good, bad, or ugly. We all have played a part in something to make Zion Full Gospel or Zion Missionary Baptist Church to be what it was and what I feel like it still should be to this day. So I would say to them, at the end of the day, the legacy of what it was should still live on, regardless if the building is not there, regardless if Bishop C.D. Guerin ain't there or Phoenicia Sibert is not there, Pastor Fee's not there. Like I said before, the community that I grew up in, the people that I learned to love, is still the same people that I love today
yeah,
regardless. So I, like you said, I never would have known the accountability that people were holding me against, because at the end of the day, I was not a part of those things. I was young. I didn't know what needed to be done or what needed to be accessed, but I did show love, and I still show love to every person that walked through those doors. Every person that, even if I go over there right now to this day, that I can honestly, from Mother McClarity, from across Deidre Fowler, from Mother Fowler, those people that when I heard that they passed away, Mother Grace, all those people, they meant something to me.
yeah,
So at the end of the day, everybody was valuable. Everybody had something to make it grow. And
yeah,
at the end of the day, if we can build on that and we can sustain on that, I understand we lost something that was very precious to all of us. It might not have been the same for everybody, but it was precious to all of us. But at the end of the day, if we can really honestly come together and to honestly build something from that, we can really build another legacy that really can live on.
yeah,
Just because the building is not there, which we hate, doesn't mean that our lives have to, or our relationships have to disintegrate. We're supposed to be a family. We're supposed to be a community. So if you were there with me when it was there with the building, then because the building left, that means you ain't gonna be with me now. I still feel the same about everybody that has ever put an imprint in my life at Zion Full Gospel, Zion Baptist Church. So
yeah.
that's what I'm at. I hope that everybody hear me. Like I said, it's valid. Your points are valid.
Sure.
Uh, you have a right to feel how you feel, but from Pastor Phoenicia Cyber, Pastor Fee, at the end of the day, totally, I am understanding of what you're going through, what you feel.
Yeah. I do want to turn the corner just a little bit. I know that there is a lot of history, and like I said earlier, a lot of people in and out of your
Absolutely.
life,
Mhm.
because this is a church, and this church was a very big part of your life. I know that you have experienced some sexual abuse.
Mhm.
I just want to know, how did you get over the trauma of that happening to you? And still, and we don't have to get into the details because we're gonna say that for your book.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
we're gonna say that for the book. And listen,
Plug.
y'all, listen, we are right. She is writing a book. Is a
Yes.
great book, and it is a memoir, and it's going to get into the details of all of these things as she releases herself. But listen, I do want to talk about the trauma. How did you, being that the sexual abuse was tied to the church,
Yeah.
and that was somewhere you had to be. Like it ain't like we had a choice. Like we can
Right.
up in the morning and sit at home. No, we didn't have a choice.
Right.
You had to be in church, right? You got to be in
Right.
church.
Yeah, yeah. It ain't like
So,
today. It ain't like
okay, listen, you got to be choir rehearsal, Bible study, whatever it is. Your
five
book gonna be in
services.
church. Period. Point blank. You ain't staying at home.
Fact.
So, being that you had to still be at this place, all the time, and have this commitment to this place, and knowing that this has happened to you, how did you get over that? How did you get past that?
Um, it took me a while
Mm.
to get past that because my thing was, at the end of the day, leadership didn't see me. They didn't see the change of my demeanor. They didn't see the outlook of what I was going through. They just saw me just to show up for the moment of what they needed me to be there for. And a lot of times, we don't really honestly look at the person to see whether or not their tragedy or their trauma. So it honestly took me, Keon, I maybe been like 30 some years old to even deal with it. My mom has been a big advocate of therapy.
Yeah. I
And
know.
she's been saying, like, even from the divorce, even from things that I'm going through, even to this day, she's been like, you need to go make sure that you go get some help. And a lot of people think that therapy is something bad, and it's
Mhm.
not. At the end of the day, we can pray, we can hoop, we can holler. I'm a pastor, I can preach, I can lay hands and deliver. But at the same time, hey, the life hits me on the door sometimes, and I break down and I need some help.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I need
Yes.
somebody to talk to. I got to talk through this situation.
Yes.
And it
Absolutely.
was crazy because the person that violated me, their parents was ministers.
Mm.
Their parents was the person that I saw on the pulpit every Sunday. And then had to see my accuser sitting right next to me and still had to have a face to go with that. And so I've been through a lot of trauma, a lot of ups and downs that a lot of times when we talk about flawed moments of
Mhm.
what we do, a lot of people don't see the flawed moments of the fact that I got a mask on. I just talked about filters. I got a
Yeah.
mask on, but you ain't seeing the mask because you like the filter.
Right.
And a lot of people in church, they
Mm.
like the filter, but really, we dying inside here. We really hurt. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm
Hey.
mad at you right now.
Right.
The church has made me feel some type of way. And a lot of people say church hurt. I get it.
Mhm.
At the end of the day, you go to work and you still do what you need to do. But sometimes it's people, your accusers in front of you that you don't know how to deal with. You don't
Yeah.
know how to process that. And the ones that's supposed to help you in leadership positions are not being aware of that. But what I did learn, me being in leadership, sometimes things that we're going through, the reason
Uh-huh.
why we can't see other people's hurt is because people don't see us bleeding too.
Mm.
So we have to put our bleeding aside to handle your
You're
bleeding
bleeding.
when still I'm I'm under the ground.
Yes.
I need to be brought out of, but as long as I bring you to safety, you
Mhm.
okay with that.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
leaders need that
Yeah.
because a lot of leaders are not honest. You got issues, bruh. I
Yeah.
tell people all the time, don't put me on no platform. I am not perfect. Don't think I'm perfect. I got flaws. I
Listen.
am not somebody that
Listen.
you want to sit here and say, she a preacher, so she should be held to the standard. I get the standard, but I am still human. But in
Right.
God's eyes, I'm chosen. So at the
That's it.
end of the day, I still need a life raft sometimes. But sometimes we feel like leaders or whoever you are, if you're strong enough, You don't need saving. That's not true. I'm helping you, but still bleeding, which means I'm suffocating when I get off the phone with you.
Right.
My filter is about to run out. At the end
Yeah.
of the day, when you do a filter, it's a time limit on it. I just learned that on what you just been
Yeah.
showing me. It's a time limit. And once I stop the video, now I come back to reality. A lot of times you stop the video and now I'm at reality like, but I'm still broken. But I just helped you with a filter. Like,
Right.
I'm okay. Bruh, if people would be more honest, leaders, like you talking about the church, leaders, background information, maybe we would get more help.
I agree. And I'm gonna say this, like, usually the people from my experience,
Mhm.
those of us, and I say us, those of us who have truly been chosen
Yeah,
and called to a greater work, right, to do, our crosses are far more heavier than the people that we're praying for, than the people
absolutely.
that we're trying to help and assist and
Mhm.
get through the journey. You know what I'm saying? Our crosses are much, and I don't think that is highlighted enough. I don't think that people see that enough or
Right.
people understand that enough because they are blinded often by what they are going through. And what's
Absolutely.
important is that you did a video,
Mhm.
how do we show up,
Mhm.
right? And in that video, you and Jason, you guys talked about, how do you show up for your friend,
Mhm.
and why are you so needy from your friends and
Mhm.
not understanding, that, hey, I too am going through something. I need somebody to check on me. But oftentimes, when you're a strong person, people don't think they think you don't need anything. You don't think
Absolutely.
you're all set, and that's just not the reality. You know,
Absolutely.
it's just not the reality. When you say you spoke on leadership,
Mhm.
not recognizing
Mhm.
that you were in a hurt place or that something had happened to you.
Mhm.
Um, were you able to tell your parents what happened to you?
I was probably able to, but I didn't feel comfortable to.
Mm,
My mother's always been an advocate of whatever you got going on, you can tell me anything. I don't care what it is. You better come tell me. But I never wanted to be the shame of the ministry.
mm,
So I'm the PK kid. And I tell my son all the time, regardless if I'm the pastor or not, listen to me, whatever you got going on, I'll choose you over that.
mm.
Because at the end of the day, he's who I come home to.
Yes.
He's the one I show up for. So
Yes.
if I got to put on a face for church when my son is hurting and he feels some type of way, I can't do it.
Hmm.
Because at the end of the day, we're the one, like I said, the filter that we're walking in here and my son is bleeding and I'm still here trying to deliver somebody else's child.
Yeah.
No. So I felt like, yes, at a certain point, I could have told my mom them anything, but still, to keep it real,
Hmm.
at the same time, I don't know if it would have been received.
Mm. Yeah, because you have to think about it. These were not like, these parents or these people were not like just random people that go to church.
Right.
These are people that had a relationship with your parents. These are people that, your parents probably had a respect for,
Absolutely.
and they respected your parents. So it wasn't like you can just go to them and be like, hey, da 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 da. You
Mhm.
know what I'm saying? And then these people, their children was coming to church on a regular basis.
Right.
So yeah, I can just imagine how difficult that is to hold that for all those years and people not really understand, that had to endure that. You talked about therapy. I'm a proponent for therapy. I will
Okay.
never forget this. My dad took me to therapy when I was 8 years old.
Oh wow.
And that
Okay.
was my first introduction to therapy. And from that point on, I've always seen that as a solution, as a way to help me get to the next level. And it
Yeah.
has worked really well for me. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? So I'm definitely, as you can see, Black family therapy. I'm a proponent. I'm a proponent for therapy, and I believe in therapy. What have you learned in therapy about yourself?
I have learned in therapy. Oh God, that's a lot, Ken. Oh, I have learned to reflect on me before pushing off on others.
Mhm.
So a lot of times my trauma and things that happen, um, how did you process and how did you deal with it? So how you asked me earlier, how was your feelings during this?
Mm-hmm.
How did you feel during this? What did you do during this?
Mm-hmm.
And I used to be like, no, it's their fault. I don't care. Hey, they did this to me. They this, and that. And true enough, that was the fact in the moment. But they taught me how to compartmentalize it.
Yes.
They taught me how to break it down that, okay, they were doing this, but they had their own trauma of doing this.
Mm-hmm.
So you had to, it wasn't your fault that you didn't dissect this the way it was, but there's still like certain stuff, like even to this day, that I'm going through as an adult with my family life history. I look back and be like, oh, that makes sense.
Mm.
I ain't dealt with your trauma.
Uh-huh.
So
Uh-huh.
now you want to keep
Yes.
pushing it on me when I done got past that trauma. And my mama said, leopard don't change its spot. And I used to tell my mama, Mom, you keep talking about that, blah, blah, blah. But I see it in my childhood issues. Like, yeah, dude, you was acting like that when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
So you need to go to therapy. You know what I'm saying? Like, you need to get your life together. But they feel like therapy is like this word that's cursed.
Yes.
We don't need to, that God is, I get it. God is the ultimate father. He can heal, he can do deliver, but God gave us people that can help us on a different level.
That's right.
And, you know, there are some traumas. I can honestly say my mother has spoken to me about life history. My mom can tell you when she was a kid, this is her famous story, when her mom and her dad used to argue all the time. Her mom, like, they had altercations and her father wound up in the hospital. And her mom used to be like, but we still going to go see your daddy. Because even though I put him there, we still gonna go see your daddy. Yeah. And it grew up with her to understand relationships.
Right.
Husband and wife, the way that, you know, you be there for somebody regardless of what it is. So a lot of people just don't want to go through therapy. But honestly, I feel like if the generation before, maybe my mama and daddy, maybe they mama and daddy would have went to therapy, maybe I wouldn't be so messed up. Just the same. But back then, they didn't believe it though.
Okay, this is what I'm saying. You know, my daddy sitting here taking me to therapy. No, nigga, you should have been.
Right. Like, right.
Okay. Not me. But I'm appreciative for the journey.
Right.
But, yeah. Listen, I think that I'm appreciative for the journey. I have thoroughly enjoyed this conversation. I've, wanted people to get to know you better. Definitely. But I do want to, close out on these few questions that I have.
Sure.
And I'm just gonna be honest. That's the only way I know how to be real.
Yeah.
Be real. Both of us is pretty much the same.
Thanks.
You've had friendships with two people that I've known, and I don't want to call those young ladies names. I think that you know exactly who I'm talking about. There are long-standing friendships, and each one of those friendships, of course, like you said earlier, it ends in grief. Any type of relationship ends in grief, right? With the one that you lost first in the situation of her father, what do you say to that relationship? What can you say about that relationship?
That person was a sister like no other. That person was a person that if I had to be up at 2:00 in the morning and she had to be there in the hospital bed, she was there. That person was somebody I can always count and depend on. That person I never had to question, never had to ask, never had to think about it. That person was somebody that I hold even to this day near and dear to my heart. Regardless of what anybody say or anybody try to say, she is a lot to me. She means a lot to me. And no matter what, I still think God's going to bring us through that.
Yeah. Yeah. And I know she means a lot to you.
She does.
I know that. Wow. And with the relationship of the friendship that you've had even longer than her.
Yeah.
The last one. you guys have, I know personally,
Yeah.
and have watched you guys go through this life
Mhm,
together. I've watched your growth sprouts.
mhm,
I've watched you become an auntie to her daughter. Um, I've watched you become a daughter to her mother, and your father and mother become parents to her.
mhm,
And I've watched the bond that you guys have created and have held.
mhm,
And today, you guys are not where you used to be,
mhm.
not in that place. What do you say about that friendship?
Honestly, I can say that as we get older and as we grow, things change. But at the end of the day, the same way that I told you, as a friendship of loyalty, that's who I am. That's what I always be. And at the end of the day, regardless of what it is now, I can honestly say I'm still Fee. I ain't gonna put the pastor in it.
Mhm,
I'm still Fee.
mhm.
The love of raising and helping, the love of just seeing
Yes.
from the beginning of time of how we started to now, will never change that. And sometimes, the enemy steps in and he tries to play tricks on us and he tries to do things that can break up things. But at
Yes.
the end of the day, I would never put a bad mouth on it. I would never say anything negative. But one thing I will say is still love there.
Yeah.
Anything that you love or anything that you care about,
Mhm.
you put forth the effort to still be there.
Sure.
And I would just say that. But honestly, um, like I said, I'm trusting and depending on God that at the end of the day, fee doesn't change.
Yeah.
I still love and I love hard,
Yeah.
and that's where I'm at with that.
I'm going to say this, and as we close, I have grown in this very moment. Honestly, I've grown a lot of respect for you, a lot more respect for you.
Oh, thank you.
Honestly, because the way that you've handled, um, talking about these things
Mhm.
is just immaculate, and it's just, it's true, and it's real, it's authentic. And I would say to everybody that's listening or everybody that's watching or will watch, she is just who she is, and that's just what it is. And I can appreciate a person who is 100% themselves all the way around, who knows they're not perfect, knows that in every relationship that I've been in, I have not always been perfect. I've not
Absolutely.
always done it right. I've had my share of whatever, right? And can acknowledge that and hold themselves accountable. I have a great respect for that. So I just want to say thank you for going live with me.
Thank you.
Yes, okay. And
We've been friends for almost about the same time.
yeah, for a long time, like 40 something. Like I've been knowing you. I was born in 83. You was born in 84. You were
Yeah.
already at the church. I was already at the church. So I've been knowing you all my life.
Oh my God. And we still, hey, one thing I can say, while you sit here talking about having my bag, dude, I appreciate you having mine.
For sure.
Hands down, you cannot, you can't always find friends that's there. Like
Yeah.
I said, at the end of the day, but you have shown and you have proven that, and we hadn't sometimes talked for a long time. Like we
Yeah.
just started meeting back up. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
For sure.
But like I respect as soon as we had our lunch date and we started talking, like it was like chemistry was still there, that we never left each other. And what I want to say to you is thank you for always being in my corner. We've always had our conversations, whether it's good, bad, or ugly. You've been straight. Hey, this is how I feel. This is what you doing. And I appreciate that. And
Yeah.
that's what makes us stronger together. And you've always been straightforward with me. And even the conversation that we had, that me and you had,
Mhm.
I respect that. I appreciate that. And I appreciate you being in my corner regardless. And I love you.
I love you too, Phoenicia. I really do. So tell the people where you are every Sunday, where they can
sick of me. I'm excited about what I'm getting ready to preach Sunday because I just feel like at the end of the day, these people about to be sick of me because I'm about to show out. I'm telling you now. As he said,
2023.
books is coming, music's coming, Tubi's
Wait a
coming,
minute, hold on.
it's
Did
coming.
you just say music is coming?
Music is coming. I got a offer. Yes. So
You are
movies coming. Yeah, we gotta talk later.
okay.
So at the end of the day, God is
Okay,
opening
do you
so
feel
many
any
doors.
anxiety of, because I'm gonna be honest with you. Like I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm gonna be
Yeah,
100% honest with you. First of all, I started this whole thing, trying to be a recording artist,
yeah.
and I have not recorded in the studio in probably almost 20 years, literally. And I have been having this urge over the last probably year to like record something. And I don't even know where that's come from. And I feel so too much anxiety about it to even do
I
it.
am
Mhm.
ecstatic. I was just reaching out to you before now and just letting
Mhm.
you know this person has blessed my life. I'm telling you, when I really said, God, I surrender all this stuff that I'm going through, all these issues I'm going through, I can't hold it. So whatever you gonna do, I need you to show up. And when I said that to God, He opened the floodgates and literally things have been coming left and right. God has been providing. He's been doing things. So the anxiety of, yeah, because I'm like, oh my God, I need vocal coaches. Oh my God, they gonna put auto tunes on my throat. Oh my God, I just sing at church. Oh my God. And literally, God was like, I got you. Like, don't
Yeah.
even trip.
Yeah.
So yeah, I might not be the best singer, all that, but at the
We're
end
still
of
gonna make
the
it sound
day,
good.
the door is open. And if
Walk,
the door is open, and I
walk through
know
it.
one thing I do know, I'm anointed and I'm called. So at the
Okay.
end of the day,
Hey,
that's gonna get me in the door.
and that's what you did. They're right there.
So,
Okay.
and that's what I'm saying. The next people that's with me, or the people that's with me right now, stick in my season.
Yeah.
If you ain't, I'm cool walking alone, and I had to learn that
Baby,
because
at this big
I love
age
my
of
entourage.
42, I am cool. I want to say this. At this big age that I done reached to, I didn't even never fathom being here, right? At
Yeah,
this big age, I am cool with walking by myself. I
absolutely,
really am. Like, I'm
really,
really good with, if I got to do this alone, I'm going to do it. And I don't care.
absolutely,
And you know what? I want to say this too. One of the things that has plagued me a lot is my age. Like, I feel like, yes, I've
yeah,
accomplished a lot, but I'm not where I want to be. I
absolutely.
feel like I'm so old, right?
Mhm.
But there has been so much spiritual encouragement, um, just encouraging me to keep on going.
Yeah,
Just because you're, 42 don't mean that it's the end of the world. Doesn't mean you can't achieve, right?
right.
And it's just been, so many little confirmations. And and like I said, I'm struggling with that, but I'm getting past that. Do you have
But
any?
you is not old. I'm
I mean,
41. You is
42 is not young.
this is the prime of our life. Where we are right now is the prime of our life. This is our
Okay.
moment. This is our moment. And it's divine intuition of God that we connected and back to where we are.
Yeah.
So no, this is where we at. We really in our 20s. Stop acting like you stop. Like, don't do that. Like
If
we
somebody asks me, I'm 35
hey,
forever.
as I just told the people right now, I said the Mega Million is a billion. I said, let's be honest about it.
Yeah.
Let's talk. When we talk about, let's be real. These pastors, and everybody out here buying these tickets because everybody trying to win this money. At the end of the day, let's do what we do. I ain't even trying to be funny, but I'm dead serious. At the end of
Yeah.
the day, man, billions is in our atmosphere. It's in our hands. Even if we don't win the Mega Million, it's in our hands,
I
bro.
receive
We
that.
just gotta do it.
I
And this is what we do. We gotta do it, regardless of naysayers, regardless of what people say. We gotta do it. And it's always gonna be haters. It's always gonna be people that trying to stop us because they don't want us to go or be, as Minister Kennedy say, be better than what they are. But at the
Yeah.
end of the day, you really ain't on my platform. That's how I'm feeling. You really ain't on my platform.
Yeah.
So why am I even having a competition with you?
Right. Why am I even in?
God already put me on the platform. So, hey, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do me.
Yeah.
You do you.
We'll
And then
see how we come out.
I
Yeah.
congratulate you if you get that first. But baby, all I know is the
I'm gonna
cookies
get
is the bake.
there.
Cookies
Okay.
is the bake. Hey, it might take me a little longer, but it's about to be in the
But
bake.
I'm gonna get there.
Yeah.
Don't get it twisted. I'm gonna get there now.
Yeah, so
Don't
I've been
worry.
having to
I'm
just
gonna.
encourage myself. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes when I do get in those vulnerable moments and low moments, and like I said, you know my story, but at the end of the day, I encourage myself and then I get back up and I have to fight again. I got a son that I gotta pursue. He's 110% a supporter that I love oh so dearly. He's
That's
on my behind like no other. You did you get this together yet? So at the end of the day, if I don't do it for nobody else, I
okay.
definitely for God, but for him, I'm going hard for it.
Sure. I think that's my only like thing right now. Well, one of the only things is like, you know, I look back over my life and I realize how selfish I've been. You know, like I'm not having no kids. I ain't having no kids. You know, I don't want no kids. But I really should have been doing that. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm in a place in my life like, dang, what am I going to leave behind? You know,
Yeah, I
it's
understand
gonna
that.
be a part of
Well, you
me.
got nephews.
Yeah, but
You think about having a baby?
yeah.
Oh, I feel auntie. I got it.
Definitely. I
That's
give myself like
cool.
3 years and definitely at least one in 3 years for sure.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
cool. That's exciting news.
Yeah. Well,
Ah,
gotta find the right person first.
that's all
Right one.
right. You know, it'll come to you. It'll come to you. But
I hope so.
definitely, you got something to leave a legacy to. Like I said, and this is one thing I say before we get off. I think I saw you do something recently, but one thing I can say since we've been close and that I love you and you've been my brother, I honestly can say, I think it was your podcast I listened to. And I honestly can say your mom is so proud of you. Honestly, I honestly can say that, like us talking and kicking it, I can see her. Keon,
Yeah.
Keon, Keon, Trayon, Keon, get yourself. I can see her honestly, and she was like my mom.
Yeah.
She was a strong woman.
Yeah.
She did what she needed to do because it was to push us to a next moment. She spoke so much gems into my life,
Wow.
and we were close. And it's crazy just to see the outlay of her just looking down on you.
Yeah.
I just see that she's so proud. And I know that everything that you are accomplishing, everything you put your hand to, she's definitely going to show up in every aspect. It might not, you can't see it yet, whether dreams, whether it's the money issues, whatever it is, she's going to show up and she's been showing up. So keep doing what you're doing. The real talk, that was like a mama moment because I saw her all over you in our conversation, but she's very proud of you. Don't ever think she wasn't. And if she was here right now, like I said, she'd be like, you better go get this. You better
Okay.
da, 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 da. So that's the part that you gotta hold on to. She was definitely a gem of this in this world and a part of my life that helped me to get where I need to be. So, hey, kudos to mom. I love her.
Phoenicia, I really appreciate that. And I honestly do every day thank God for my mother, you
Yeah,
know. And I'm also just happy that I can, you know, that I have the ability and the gifting to be able to tap into the spirit and
yeah,
be able to, you know, have an exchange with her, you know.
yeah.
So yeah, I'm very proud. And through therapy, as you said, through therapy, it has helped me to
Keep going.
yeah, it's helped me to cope with a lot of things that you know, were a part of my childhood as well. So I'm truly thankful. So thank you so much.
No problem.
So thank y'all for tuning in. We appreciate y'all. This has been a wonderful time, and hopefully we can do this again. So as I would say, make sure y'all don't forget to stream the podcast Black Family Therapy with Kia, okay? With Kia Moon. It is on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. And be on the lookout next year for the actual show itself. Thank you so much. We love y'all.
Love you.
D-Lo got the juice.